Fellow Lagosians, on Saturday, March 9, 2019, you demonstrated great confidence in me and in our great party, the All Progressive Congress, APC, by overwhelmingly electing me as the 15th governor of our dear state. For me, it remains an humbling privilege to be the leader of a government that you freely and massively elected into office. I remain truly grateful for your trust and confidence. You will recall that in my acceptance speech, I told you, dear Lagosians, that while the victory may bear my name, because it must bear a name, it actually belongs to you. 1 year on, that view has not changed. The government is and will continue to be for you and about your welfare and about your collective future. Good people of Lagos, in my inaugurational address, I promise you a greater Lagos. Today, on the first anniversary of our inauguration, it is my pleasure to brief you about the progress we have made on our journey towards a greater Lagos, using our team's agenda as our guide. As you are aware, traffic management and transportation is the first leg of our team's agenda, considering the pivotal role of transportation as a major driver of our socio-economic activity. Our goal is to deliver a reliable internodal system of transportation and a functional convenience system for our people. Driven by this aspiration, I signed an executive order against indiscriminate waste dumping, waste and traffic management on my first day in office, aside from setting the tone of our government as a signal, a behavioral expectation from the citizens and a major point of government transformational interest. As we also keep about the safety of lives on our roads and to stem that rising tide of accident on the streets, our government restricted motorcycles and tricycles to only 6 local government and 9 LCDA. We have launched a new articulated vehicle number plate comprising 3 number plates per set for road safety purposes that we see going forward. Consequently, we are deepening investment in waterways and in our light rail system. These, we believe, are long overdue alternative for our road network. On February 4th, 2020, as we made a giant leap in our resolve to develop an integrated transportation system by officially commissioning 8 new state-of-the-art ferries in addition to the existing 6 we have, which we use to kickstart our expansion of the LAG ferry services on our waterways. Our government also recently unveiled a 180-ton by 180,000 kilogram barge for public use. This can be used for a lot of venue, social events, for wedding, for naming ceremony, and for birthdays. By providing this alternative venue for social gathering, our government have moved activities from the very many event centers which do not have adequate parking facilities for their guests, and indirectly causing traffic gridlocks in our state roads through extended parking of vehicles on the road. Since the implementation of this initiative, we have seen a remarkable increase in the number of commuters on our waterways, and social engagements are provided on our waterways as well. With the successful completion of our elevated sea crossing track on the Blue Line, which is around the marina area, Lagos had seen the construction work has begun and the last phase of our Blue Line scheme. The project is critical to the achievement of our vision of our internodal transportation system. Dear Lagosians, I'm also pleased to inform you that the plan to construct the 4th mainland bridge is equally on course. Recently, we shortlisted 8 out of the over 30 firms that expressed interest in the project. This set of 8 that we've shortlisted have moved into what we call the request for proposal level. In the coming weeks and months, you will certainly be hearing more on the various steps of implementing this very important project. We're also working to make our roads better. Several roads have been rehabilitated while other ones are at various stages of completion. The Abule-Egba-Oshodi BRT corridor, the Penn Cinema Bridge, the Lagos-Badagry Express Road, the Ijede Road, the Agric-Ishawo Road. These are in addition to over 420 other roads that we've had to improve upon and improve the palliatives as we move along. A major highlight of our intervention in roads was the commissioning of a network of 33 roads at Ojokoro area in December 2019. Concerted efforts are ongoing to ensure a speedy completion of the link bridges and the state's network of roads in Victoria Island and Ifoshe Kofa Bayomi, and the commencement of a 9.8 kilometer regional road, which is from VGC to Freedom Way in Victoria Island, in Lekki, and which is parallel to the Lekki Express Road. We are not relenting our oars. More completed projects are slated for commissioning in the coming days. These include the integrated transportation system for our bus reform schemes at Ikeja and Oshodi bus terminal, the Oshodi Abule-Egba BRT corridor, Dio-Imbo bus terminal station, the concrete jetty with shoreline protection and waiting shelter at Bayeku in Ikorodu local government, Fadipe, Salau, Eyiawawi, Odubanjo Street in Shomolu, the Alaji Akinwumi Street in Mushin, and the Adagun Imoke Iworo Ajado Road in Badagry. All of these are part of the over 350 roads which I did mention, of which 37 of them are completed, 91 of them have been completely rehabilitated, and 264 have various sectional improvements. I must express my satisfaction with the quality and progress of work on the transport infrastructure project across the state. I urge the good people of Lagos to remain patient as we work to complete all of them to give you a better motoring and commuting experience. On traffic management, we have recruited and inducted over 1,017 LASMA officers to achieve better flow of traffic and reduction in travel time. And for this purpose, we also commissioned the ultra-modern headquarters of the Vehicle Inspection Service, the VIS, on December 24, 2019. The facility will accommodate the 3 major stakeholders in the vehicle and driving documentation, serving as a one-stop center in line with global practices and for effective traffic and transportation management. We complemented this initiative with a strategic traffic management intervention plan that saw administration identifying 60 corridors for enforcement of proper use of our carriageway, the pedestrian walkway, parks, garages across the state. This exercise, which was categorized into 2, the quick wins, which involve sensitization and enforcement, which have been completed, while the second leg involving junction configuration, infrastructural modification, traffic signal synchronization, and channelization be ready for public use in the coming weeks ahead. Some of the areas affected are the Lekki-Ekpe Express Road, which is the first roundabout, the second roundabout also on the Lekki-Ekpe Expressway, the Ajah roundabout also on this corridor, the Allen Avenue roundabout, the Kotun roundabout, All of them are at various levels of completion, and I'm sure that our motorists and our citizens are beginning to enjoy a relief on these road corridors. In order to sustain the current momentum in the public transportation space, we ask for the cooperation of every citizen of this state, especially in obeying our traffic laws and cooperating with our LASTMA officers who now work extended hours up to 11 o'clock or even beyond for our collective good. These LASTMA officers, in addition to the generous allowances that we've provided for them, we've also equipped them with administrative, sophisticated communication gadgets. We've also increased their fleet of vehicles by providing for them patrol vehicles, drones for ease of traffic management and for enforcement operation. Fellow Lagosians, without a doubt, in the last 365 days, we have a lot has happened in our state for which we must be proud and we must be thankful. In the area of unhindered access to healthcare, which is the second pillar of our agenda, we have commissioned 2 maternal and child centers, which will christen the MCC, at Etiosa and at Igondo, respectively. In the next couple of weeks, we'll be commissioning the one in Badagry and Epe to bring the total number of MCCs commissioned in our administration to 4. For us, nothing should be spared to give Lagosians quality health care. That is why we're rehabilitating, in conjunction with our local government, the entire 377 primary health centers we have across the state to provide first-rate healthcare services to our people. The compassionate side of our government can best be captured by the understanding that life-changing impacts of free medical interventions we have undertaken in the last couple of months have certainly been succor to a lot of our pregnant women, a lot of our indigent citizens, and a lot of our accident and emergencies patients who probably would not have a means of paying the bills at our various secondary hospitals. But we're indeed happy that we've been able to keep life going even with this period of pandemic of COVID-19. In our first 200 days in office, the Lagos State government, working in collaboration with Bosco Health Mission and the Benjamin Olowo Foundation, delivered diverse free medical intervention to over 250,000 Lagosians at various locations right across the states. And we have also increased our budgetary allocation to our health sector, believing that health is very critical to the deliverables of our team's agenda. Closely linked to healthcare is the state of our environment. This is why we are working hard to ensure that we have a flood-free Lagos. We have carried out extensive dredging and desilting at almost all of our primary drains. To date, we're working in about 40 locations, which cuts across the nooks and crannies of the states. And we have actually built 4 new drainage channels, which are part of our primary drainage deliverables. And we believe that we're poised and ready for the rainy season that is around the corner, and we've started seeing pouring on a daily basis. In the area of education, the third pillar of our team's agenda, significant feats have been recorded. This is not unexpected because of our demonstrated commitment to this sector, gestured by the increase in the sectorial allocation, which is about 133 billion, which in my view is about 137% over the previous year's budget. In the past 12 months of our government, we have executed a number of initiatives and programs that have raised the standard of education and enhanced the professionalism of our teaching staff across the state. Our intervention covered infrastructural development, teachers training, and capacity development, curriculum review, introduction of student and teachers welfare program, teaching staff recruitment, amongst other areas. Specifically, we have constructed and upgraded public infrastructure, which include 66 classrooms and secondary school level, 92 classrooms at the primary school level. We have also rehabilitated over 60 and provided over 60,000 tables and chairs to revamp all of these schools. The upgrading of this infrastructure in this sector continues with the following completed projects that are due for commissioning. The 18 classrooms at the Muslim Junior College in Egbe, the 18 classrooms at Maya Secondary School in Ikorodu, the 18 classrooms at Eva Adelaja Junior Secondary School in Bariga, a block of 20 classrooms at Bashua Military School Primary in Shomolu, 13 classrooms at Savior Primary School, Ifako Jai, a block of 20 classrooms at Alayonle Memorial Primary School, Ifako, and a block of 6 classrooms at Asaruddin in Ekpe. Similarly, we have made remarkable inroads in the training of teachers for 21st century competence through the Eco-Excel training initiative. Over 3,000 primary school teachers have learned how to competently utilize technology in the teaching for better learning outcomes of our children. The results have shown amazing enrollment. We've seen increase in the number of students enrolling in our primary schools, and the attendance rate have also grown up remarkably. I have visited some of these public schools to see how this Eco-Excel is actually at work, and I'm indeed happy to report that we are at an extraordinary transformation stage and in the journey for ensuring that our public school will be the envy of everyone in the nation. To cope with this growing number of pupils registration in our public school, we have also recruited over 2,000 primary school teachers and over 1,000 secondary school teachers at the first instance. Also, we have introduced a welfare scheme that will allow our school teachers have access to soft car loans and housing loans. This scheme are an integrated component of our government policy to making teaching lucrative and attractive to talented individuals. I have also started a scheme where we will be encouraging or will be giving vehicles out to the best teachers in all of our 20 LGAs that we have across the states. Under our homegrown school feeding program, we have fed over 135,000 pupils across 975 public primary schools in the state. This we believe had encouraged and enhanced attendance of our pupils and had improved their cognitive ability. With hunger out of the way, we also know that learning becomes a lot easier for these pupils at our various schools. Our tertiary institutions are not left out of this sectoral overhaul and capacity building program. To boost the quality of our tertiary education in all our institutions, higher institutions of learning, we have increased employability value of our graduates, and government has also introduced a scheme called Code Lagos. Code Lagos is an e-learning infrastructure for state-owned tertiary institutions jointly operated by University of Michigan for exchange, joint research work, and data collection and analysis purposes. Our state-owned tertiary institutions will collaborate with other world-class institutions and leverage the platform for curriculum development and student exchange program, especially the established partnership between LASU and the Cornell University, New York, USA. Still on institutional development, our government signed an agreement with investors for the construction of about 8,272 units of hostels for our Lagos State University, LASU, just as we've paid 230 as bursary allowance for 8,246 beneficiaries. Similarly, the government has also paid 190 million for scholarship to about 845 beneficiaries, whilst we've released over 200 million to the Michael Otedola College of Primary Education for them to be able to clear the backlog of their gratuity and their pension arrears. This administration has also revalidated the 460-seater auditorium and upgraded other infrastructure in the institution to make the environment conducive for learning and for progress. We similarly have extended intervention to the Adirong-Sonya College of Education by releasing over $350 million to the institution as a support for their personnel costs and increasing their subvention by over 25%. As you are aware, fellow Lagosians, the prescribed protocol for managing the spread of COVID-19 has altered our way of life and manner of interaction. This includes teaching and learning method in all of our schools. In response to this, the state deployed the electronic and e-learning platform to keep its school system running. The action brought into the fore the significance of a justified technology in a modern society and the rationale for government's aggressive rollout of broadband fiber optics, which at the first instance will be rolling out a 3,000 kilometer fiber optics in certain areas of the state, looking more at our health and educational institutions. Under technology, with the trend across the globe, we're also keen on making Lagos the fortress of digital enterprise, an urban hub of technology-driven creativity, innovation, and commerce, which in turn becomes a magnet for domestic and foreign investment. To this end, we have set up the Lagos State Science Research and Innovation Council last week with a startup fund of about $600,000 to drive investment in research and development of high-tech focused solutions across the 6 pillars of our administration under the team's agenda. With this structure in place, tech startups and young innovators in the state now have the opportunity and it's available funding that is required for them to display their entrepreneurial skill and be able to take this very important component of their life to a next level. Dear Lagosians, the greater Lagos we promise you is a mega city that is fully a 21st century economy. This is the thinking that has propelled us to encourage a $629 million foreign direct investment into our Lekki Deep Sea Port project completion. We are truly excited with the level of work at this port, and we're encouraging all stakeholders to leave nothing undone at ensuring that this project is completed within the next 24 months. When this project is completed, Lagos will have one of the most modern and comparable ports, not only in Africa, but in the world. This will boost Lagos' profile as Africa's major economic hub and increase investment traffic into Lagos. More importantly, it will stimulate the local, the national and regional economics and earn a well-deserved place as a container transportation hub in Africa. A 21st century economy is one that is capable of meeting the housing needs of its people. In the area of housing, 4 major housing projects are now ready for commissioning. Under the Lagos Homes project, the Igbogbo scheme, which has a total of 360 units comprising 121-bed, 122-bed, and 133-bed, is ready. B, Lagos State Affordable Public Housing Scheme in Topo Badagry has 252 two-bedroom apartments. The Cortland Villa behind Femi Okunu in Igbokushi with 120 units of 4-bed maisonette and boys' quarters, and the Lekki Apartments, which has 120 units of 1-bed, 2-bed, and 3-bed as well, is also ready. On January 3rd, 2020, we also handed over keys to various beneficiaries. About 492 beneficiaries undertake our maidens administration's rent-to-home housing scheme at the Latif Jakonde Housing Estate at Igondo. It was indeed a joyful moment, not only for the beneficiaries, but for me personally. More housing schemes will be delivered in the coming months. We are excited about our housing scheme because not only do we provide homes to people, they also create jobs for a multitude of people who work as artisans, as tradesmen and laborers at this project site. This fully ties with our commitment to resuscitate our excellent craftsmanship by making opportunities available for our people to be able to be trained, and we want them to also demonstrate this training in all of their capabilities going forward. As a government anchored on transformational leadership, we are unshaken in our resolve to turn Lagos into a smart city. Consequently, we have deploying smart city cameras around the city, and we've just conceived to provide an e-security. But we also encourage a culture of telemedicine and e-education has also enabled us during this COVID-19 pandemic. We have approved that our smart city project, which at the first instance will include 3,000 cameras, be implemented immediately. And this will also include some command and control centers being in the first phase of this project. In the area of agriculture and food security, we have done so much, with initiatives such as the Productivity Enhancement and Livelihood Improvement Support Project, APPEALS, which is designed to build the capacities of our actors in the rice, the aquaculture, and the poultry value chain by enabling them to become large-scale producers and processors of rice, fish, egg, and poultry. When our famous Immortal rice mill is completed at the end of the year, which is a 32 metric ton per hour rice mill, it will be a game-changing addition to the Nigerians' ongoing rice revolution. Being the smallest state in Nigeria, we do not have all of the land potentials that other states have. But that will not stop us from maximizing the development of what we have, as well as fully developing our potentials as a processing hub with ready access to the largest market in West Africa. We are also strengthening the capacity of our farmers through the Lagos Agripreneur Program, LAP, the Seafood Festival, and the Eco-Sea Farmers Food Markets. These provisions of extension service to our farmers is also one of our major priorities. Dear Lagosians, the final pillar of our agenda is security and governance. Our goal is transformational security, using technology as a strong enabler. We are ramping up our Security Command and Control Center and investing heavily in security cameras, as well as improved data gathering and processing to stay permanently ahead of crime and criminality. By this, we are sending a strong message of deterrence to all potential criminals that the Lagos State Security Trust Fund will continue to be a major arrowhead of our intervention in security within our state. Today, we have a highly motivated police force in Lagos State. I'm encouraged with the men of the Lagos State Police Command. We have kitted over 2,000 men of the Rapid Response Squad, each man with 2 sets of uniform and full accompaniments. In our quest to ensure security of life and property in a mega city like ours, our government has strengthened the capacity of our security agencies with the donation of over 140 patrol vehicles and 40 motorcycles to our Lagos State Police Command. Also, this administration has raised over 800 million under the Lagos State Security Trust Fund through our very, very supportive private sector and the reinforcement of our communication capacity of the police with provision of 100 sets of Motorola walkie-talkies and over 1,000 CUG lines for the police operation in the state. Even though crime rates in the state have reduced significantly, we still thought it important to have police presence in our community. For this purpose, our government completed and commissioned 2 area commands within the state. The Area G which is the police command, which is that area command in Oriade local government, and Area L in Elemero, Ibejuleki, LCDA, were also completed within the last couple of months. Security is a collective responsibility. So we are partnering with all of our southwest neighboring states in this regard. One important step on this journey is the establishment of a Western Nigerian Security Network, which has been rightly codenamed Operation Amotekun. As an indication of our commitment to this shared responsibility, we have donated 20 patrol vehicles to the Amotekun operation. You will begin to see the full operationalization of the scheme in the coming months. Dear Lagosians, the future no doubt looks bright. We are taking sure and steady steps towards the realization of a greater Lagos of our aspiration. While we are not yet where we want to be, it is clear that we are not where we used to be. We must use the successes we have recorded in the last 1 year to inspire us to even a bigger and a greater collective efforts. As we make progress in our quest for a greater Lagos, certainly more challenges lie ahead of us. Of what essence is life without obstacle? Which leads me to the issue of the COVID-19 pandemic, already described as the most disruptive occurrence in the last 100 years of our lifetime. It has been a very challenging period for all of us: government, businesses, offices, schools, places of worship, and citizens at large. Lagos remains the epicenter of this pandemic in Nigeria. We're still seeing an increase in infection figures, and this trend is likely to continue for a while longer before we're able to succeed in flattening the curve. We're currently in full community transmission, and we're doing everything to ensure that we slow down the spread. Interestingly, this COVID-19 experience has encouraged strengthening of our health infrastructure and challenged us to become the best we can to be alive. The situation heightened the professionalism of our health workers and pointed us in the direction of investment for us to make in the health sector. Our recent 2020 budget adjustment, which has just been forwarded to the Lagos State House of Assembly, shows that it's only the health sector that will be seeing an increase in both of their recurring and capital expenditure. In Lagos State, the learning and insights gained from this moment will not be wasted in spite of our very modest achievement. We will build a first-class Lagos Infectious Disease Center that will be an envy of not only Nigeria, but also West Africa. It will be a research center for infectious disease and management in the whole of the country. And we're working assiduously to see how that comes to light very, very soon. Dear Lagosians, against this backdrop, let me stress this fact that there is no reason to panic or to be alarmed. The current situation does not mean that things are out of control. It rather reveals the effectiveness of our new testing, tracing, and tracking approaches and strategies that we're adopting. Our clear testimony to the doggedness in combating this pandemic is in there are over 800 patients that we have discharged since the index case. And I'm encouraged, knowing fully well that a lot more people are getting well and will get well. But unfortunately, we have recorded below 50 deaths, even with the high number of positivity that we have in our states. Your support has been inspiring. I thank you all very much for standing with us during this very tiring period. Of course, the war is not yet over. Even when we start to see a decline in the number of new cases, we must not be lulled into an illusion that the worst is over. Between now and the months ahead, we need to be very cautious in the way we act and attempt to resume life and business. We cannot afford at any time over the next couple of months to make a mess of all the hard work we have done. So that is why we still need to re-emphasize all of our corrective measures. We need to continue to still wear our mask when we are in public places. We need to continue to remember to wash our hands as often as possible. We need to continue to observe social distancing at all times. This we believe will crown the efforts and we'll begin to see our measures of unleashing the very, very difficult moments that we find ourselves at the moment. Dear Lagosians, as I give gratitude to God for this day, and I remain truly grateful to all of you, kindly permit me to thank my darling wife, Ibijoke, my children, and my extended family for their unflinching support and love thus far. I would also want to thank our great party, the All Progressive Congress, for the opportunity being their flag bearer, for the foundation of the people-focused manifesto and the consistent support and encouragement I continue to receive. My personal gratitude goes to the dogged national leader of our party, my own leader, His Excellency, a former governor of our state, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who has continued to show great leadership for all of us, not only in Lagos State, but in Nigeria as a whole. Our national chairman, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, our distinguished senators and House of Representatives members at the National Assembly, as well as our party chairman, Alhaji Babatunde Balogun. I cannot thank all of you enough. My heartfelt gratitude also goes to my brother and co-traveler on this Greater Lagos journey, Mr. Deputy Governor, Dr. Obafemi Hamzat, and his lovely wife, Mrs. Oluremi Hamzat. My appreciation also extends to all my colleagues in the State Executive Council. To our judiciary, led by my Lord Honorable Justice Kazim Aluba, thank you all for being a strong partner in the narrative of Lagos thus far. I'm equally grateful to the Speaker of the most formidable House, the Lagos State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Mudashiru Ajayi Obasa, and the entire esteemed members of this House. I thank all our local government chairmen, our councillors, our party chairmen at all of our local governments who've shown unwavering belief in our ability and commitment and have helped to keep the party's flag flaring stronger in the state, of course, in the last 2 decades. Let me also express my profound gratitude to the very supportive and energetic public servants, the body of permanent secretaries, the heads of ministries, departments, and agencies who have worked night and day, often behind the scene, to translate our lofty vision into practical and visible progress, as well as all of our royal fathers, so many of you, and of course, to thank all of our spiritual leaders across the state for all of the support, counsel, prayers that you have shown me and shown my government thus far. Special thanks also go to the gentlemen of the press who have continuously shown very, 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 very sincere and balanced reportage of our government. I cannot but thank you for all your support in conveying our vision and the narrative of a greater Lagos to the public. May we all live to sit and partake in the progress and prosperity of a greater Lagos. I want to thank you all for listening. I want to thank you all for taking out time to join us this morning. God bless Lagos State. God bless Nigeria. Thank you all, and God bless.